Hey there, this is DZ Maven. Time for another Gunpla review, Unscripted. Today I'm taking a look at the real grade Strike Freedom Gundam. This kit came out in November of 2013 for the retail price of 3,000 yen. So here's the box art here. I hope you like gold, by the way, because this kit is gold, in case you didn't know that. Here's the box art. Typical real grade box art from the time it came out in. Very nice, classy, lots of look closely at the box art here. There's a lot of little gold accents all throughout the kit. Some of this is actually on the kit, some of it is not on the kit. I will try to point that out when I can. Anyway, inside the box, you get to see here is nice gold inner frame. This is, unfortunately, it's going to be gold plastic. I'm not a huge fan of, but you kind of have to deal with it because they are using the advanced MS joint, or I believe it is for this kit, the same one as the Freedom Gundam and the Justice Gundam and the Destiny Gundam. But there are some gold-plated parts on it, but it's only for the parts that are inside the wing parts on this kit here. The Dragoons, I was about to call them fin funnels because I've been building new Gundams twice this year, and like I'm thinking funnels. No, they're not funnels. They're Dragoons. Anyway, there's some action shot poses on the other side of the box here, just kind of give you an idea of what you can do with this kit here. And here's the manual, which we will take a look through real quick here. Looks like. So if you've ever built any of the older real grade kits, it's pretty much just that way. You have the advanced MS joint kind of forms like a skeleton for the kit, and then you build all your parts kind of around it. You get a few internal frame detail parts, but not too many on these older kits here. But most of it's on the advanced MS joint, and just kind of build the exterior parts around that. So, unlike a lot of the newer real grade kits, which are more like master grades, where you actually assemble the inner frame out of plastic parts. Here, the frame kind of comes all together here. So, but yeah, the construction is pretty simple. I have built the master grade Strike Freedom Gundam before, and it's an alright kit, but the back wing mechanism is very fidgety on that and prone to breaking. Thankfully, the real grade does not have that mechanism in it, so it's not going to be prone to damaging itself when you try to open it up or anything like that, which is a good thing because this kit is small and a little bit, and like most real grades, it's a little bit fiddly, but it's really not too bad on this kit. So let's move on. You get your usual sticker markings. Not too big of a sheet. I can speak here. Not too big of a sheet of stickers here. Most of it's going to be encompassed by this large blue beam shield sticker. Which, if you watch my real grade Destiny Gundam review, I kind of talked about this a little bit. I don't like these things. I don't like these stickers for beam shields because they're really hard to apply straight. Not that they're hard to put on, they're just hard to get them on straight and make it look right. So, but on this kit I did use them, and I will show you my attempt at using them. Anyway, moving on to the runners here. A-plate, our multicolor runner. You get a dark blue, you get your white, your beam sabers, and some clear parts, doing the clear beam shield part. There was a few other pieces there. Beam runner, the advanced MS joint 4. Yes, I was correct here. This is our gold plastic advanced MS joint runner. Now imagine for most people, you may want to try and paint the gold plastic to make it look better instead of this weird yellow color here, but the thing is, painting the advanced MS joint frame is going to be a little tricky because there's different types of plastic in here, and everything kind of moves around and has very tight tolerances on the parts, so You could paint it, but then you're going to have to resign yourself to the fact that you're not going to be able to really pose the kit anymore after this, otherwise everything's going to get kind of stuck together. So, it's your choice if you want to do so or not. I'll leave it up to you. I've seen a professional hobbyist decide to paint this thing and just don't pose the kit after that, which is perfectly fine. So, anyway, runner C here, we got another multicolor runner. We get 2 in this kit, which is kind of a rarity. You get this light gray, you get your standard gray, a little bit of yellow plastic, it's only for the V-fin, and your red here. D-plate, white, this straight up white plastic. These are parts for shoulders, side skirts, arms, legs, weapons, legs. I said legs twice on here. Skirt armor. It says skirt armor twice. It's for a lot of parts in the kit. E-runner. So this is our gold metallic plastic here. This is a bright gold plastic here. Mostly going to be for the inner frame parts and the joints and the hands here. It's a very lustrous, bright gold. It actually doesn't look too bad, but again, if you just wanted to look very consistent, you'd probably want to paint this. F1. This is another gold runner, and in case you couldn't tell, this is actually a slightly different gold than this gold. This is more of a softer, muted gold, and these are parts for, looks like, pieces that'll go partially inside of this. Oh yeah, okay, yeah, this is inside the railgun. I don't know if everything goes to the dragon, and I don't know it's parts of the railgun. And some joint pieces as well as our action base stand. And F2, this is our chromed gold-plated parts. These are parts that go inside the dragoon wings on the back of the kit here. Pretty nice looking. Kind of wish they did the other previous 2 runners in this gold chrome. It would have been nice, but then they chose not to for whatever reasons. G runner, I get 2 of these. These are this really dark blue. These are parts for the dragoon wings on the back, as well as a few parts for the legs here. H runner, get 2 of these. This is a basically standard Gundam blue color. Here's your dragoons, parts for the feet, torso, and weapons, and a few other accents on the kit. Alright, so here's a little comparison of the different types of golds that come on this kit here. And also kind of a slight inconsistency with the hands here. So, the closed fist hands, they come on the advanced MS joint runner, and they have this sort of softer muted gold color. But the rest of the hands on the kit come on the bright gold runner, so they have a really bright gold color to them. So you got hands that have 2 different colors in this kit, which is kind of inconsistent to have, but yeah. This is probably why you might just want to paint the gold on this kit, just to keep it consistent throughout the kit. But, you know, that's just kind of the way it is on this kit here. Anyway, here is the completed inner frame. Again, gold on top of gold, with gold stickers, gold chrome stickers that go in the joints here for this kit. It's a pretty nice inner frame. It's nice looking. But again, probably could look better with paint, because it looks very... It's so hard to do gold plastic in a way that looks good, and usually just never really quite looks as good as it could be. I don't think I've ever seen a kit. Has there ever been a kit with proper gold plastic on it? I don't think so. I can't think of one. I know there's kits that have silver injected plastic that tends to look good, like on the real grade Hainu Gundam that I built recently. But you know, even then, there's like swirls in the plastic that look kind of unsightly. But you know, you just kind of gotta deal with it. If you don't like it, you're gonna have to paint it. There's really no way around it here. So I'm just showing some articulation of the kit, of the inner frame here. It's pretty good what it is without the armor on it, and I hope you like this picture here. Nice provocative pose of a Gundam with no outfit on. Some construction photos here. I do want to point out here, what I did do with this kit here, I did try to paint these extra gold accents on the kit, because they do not come molded like this here. If you go back and look at the box art, you'll see a lot of these accents, details, especially on the skirt armor and a few places throughout the kit. they have gold in them, but this is not molded in. You have to kind of, if you want that look, you have to paint it in. So that's what I did here. I painted all these little gold accents in throughout the kit here. So just to make it look more like the box art, because I actually kind of like the look of the gold accents. So I just kind of went all for it here on this thing. So that's what I did. I think it looks pretty neat this way. Also on the back skirt armor here. This is just looking at what the back skirt armor mechanism is for the railguns swinging to the back and forth here. I'll demonstrate how that works in the live view. It's really not that complicated here. Unlike in the master grade kit, where you actually have to physically slide the entire back skirt section down and then up again. So here you don't really have to do that. You just have to kind of move the skirt armor down. It's real easy. And here is the shoulder armor. Shoulder armor has a little bit of a mechanism in it to open up a little bit here. It's kind of hard to get it to work without completely coming apart, but you can open it up just to kind of show a little bit inner detail inside the frame there. Here's the crouch pose. The Strike Freedom has no problem doing that. A little video, a little bit of a look around on the kit here in the crouch down pose. I will say, like most real grade kits, it's a pretty nice looking kit once it's all put together here, so I can't really complain about the looks or anything, because that's what real grade kits do really well, is look really good. So here's this is the beam shield emitter that's on the arms of the Strike Freedom. So like with the Destiny Gundam, you have to put this sticker on the back side of the beam emitter, not on the top, so you don't really get to see the sticker all that often. This little video here which kind of demonstrate for you here. So that's the outside, this is the inside of the part, right there. Alright, so here's that beam shield. I went ahead and tried putting the stickers on here. I had some moderate success on getting them lined up. The only problem is I didn't get this bottom piece lined up correctly, and it's a little bit off center. So there's a little bit of a gap in the sticker here, so that's why I don't like using this giant sticker for the beam shield, because it's so hard to get to line up perfectly. It's just a hassle. So that's why on my Destiny Gundam I chose to paint it instead of using the sticker, because my experience of using the stickers here on this kit, not good. I don't like this. Again, it's like, I don't know why Bandai doesn't make a proper looking beam shield effect part for the real grade kit, but they do it so well for the master grade line. But they don't do it here. I don't know why. I don't know why they don't do that here. Anyway, the Dragoon Bowler wings, again, pretty nice. Bandai seems to be always adding more gimmicks to the wings on the Strike Freedom with each iteration that comes out. Like, what was the first? I mean, I know we had the high grades were pretty basic here, and then they did the master grade, which kind of opened up a little bit with the mechanical mechanism inside, but tended to break after a while. And then we had the perfect grade, which kind of opened up a little bit more, and then we have the real grade, which opens up even more than that. So it's like each time Bandai tries to add more to the Strike Freedom Gundam every time. So this is like fully opened up now with this here, and with the dragons removed, it looks very skeletal. Is how I would describe this here. So, once you have this thing all spread out, it actually is quite big once it's all opened up. So, yeah. Top of the beam rifles here, there's gaps on top of the beam rifles. I know one is for attaching the beam rifles together, but then there's also a gap on the other beam rifle too, which looks kind of weird. So I kind of feel like that should have been filled in somehow, but you know. Anyway, now we're getting onto the proper photos of the kit here. So like I said, it looks pretty nice if you put some effort into this kit. And you can see I put all these little gold details in throughout the kit because it looks a little bit more accurate to the box art, including along the inside of the torso here and everything. So I think it turned out looking really nice here, despite the fact that I didn't really paint all the gold plastic on this kit. I chose not to. I just kind of left it the way it is, but I think it turned out looking pretty good. Here's a profile side shot here. And look at the back here, you can see all those dragoons. They always take up so much space on the back. Almost looks like a wing, not a wing, a cape that's draped over the back of the Gundam. Here's the back with the backpack removed here. You can kind of see the back here. And here's those railguns swung to the back here with the beam rifles attached on the side. Looks just like that. Here's up on the action base. This is another kit that I do recommend you have an action base for instead of trying to pose it on the ground, because again, those wings are quite back heavy. And Strike Freedom is kind of meant to be in the air anyway. In space, it's not really a ground combat Gundam. At least not from what I'm aware. That's not really the sort of thing that it excels at, so it needs to be in the air. Or look at the cockpit hatch. It just kind of slides open a little bit to the front. It's kind of hard to look down in there. There's no pilot figure that goes inside, but you do get a standing pilot figure of Kira that can be stood outside the kit. We're just doing some articulation tests here. You get a good bend out of the arms and the elbow joint here, stretching your arms out here, the torso. The legs, they can swoop up out of the way. Really not any problem with the legs on this kit. It does have an adjustable hip mechanism in there. It's the same one we've seen on the Advanced MS-4 before, where there's a little locking mechanism that kind of you have to kind of move up and down. It kind of swings the legs up and down. It's a very fragile switch, so you want to be careful with it. I think I showed this off on the Destiny Gundam review. It's the same thing there. This is about as far back as you can kind of swing the wings. They can't really go perpendicular back, but they can get pretty close. They're still kind of at an angle, but that's kind of as far as you can go with them. They're spread out with the two beam sabers. These beam sabers are kind of close to the... They're not quite as big as the 1/100 scale beam sabers, but they are longer than the standard 1/144 beam sabers I've seen, so they are still pretty long. I don't think they're quite as big as the ones on the real grade Freedom Gun, which had the really big ones on it. So you can... Well, here's the beam shield on here. I'll show you how that hooks on. Pretty simple. You can't really notice the gap too much on here. You can see it a little bit right there. Here's the beam sabers again. It does have the beam sabers can hook together, and it can't hook together, so you have the double beam sabers hooked together here. Very simple, just like that. See it right there. And our close up of the beam shield, where you can see the gap now in there. And you're just posing with the beam rifles, kind of in a gunslinger firing pose, so one sort of up, one to the side here. Has no problem holding the beam rifles here. It's pretty good grip. One thing I will say about the beam rifles, and I will show this off in the live view here, is that the handles don't have any notches in them, like you would see in a typical real grade beam rifle. But they still hold into the hands pretty well here. But I'll show you that in the live view here. They're starting to spread out the wings of the Dragoons here. Oh, here's that long rifle form here. It's a little finicky to pose with in this form, but this is what it looks like here. Again, it doesn't really have too much trouble holding this here. It's really not that heavy. Alright, here we go. Full burst. I believe they call it the full burst mode for the Strike Freedom Gundam here. All this gold here. I didn't quite get all of these little things to bend out. I think they kind of fell back in when I was trying to stand it up, but gold, gold, gold. Showing off all that inner gold frame here, so you're here along with the shoulder armor opened up here. I tell you what, when you do have it posed like this, it really does catch your eye, and it really does become kind of a standout showpiece on the shelf when it's like this here. It takes up a lot of space. That's part of the reason it takes up so much space on your shelf when they have it like this. But it definitely catches your eye. You can see it from the back side here. Here it is with the Dragoons disconnected here. I can't recall offhand that there's any type of effect expansion set. I believe there is something for the Wings of Light effect on the Strike Freedom, but I don't remember if there's anything for the Dragoons, though. If somebody knows, they can feel free to correct me on that here, but I'm pretty sure there's a Wings of Light effect part, P-band I set for this, but I don't remember if there's anything for the Dragoons. Alright, so here's the accessories that come with the kit. Beam shield, the 2 beam rifles, beam sabers, action base adapter. Here's your tiny Kira Yamato figure here. You get 2 open hands, 2 closed fists, 2 of the not very good real grade hands, and 2 of the trigger holding hands for the beam rifles here. Alright, so with that said, we can move on to live view. Alright, here's Strike Freedom Gundam, real grade, I'll put together here, nice. So for the sake of articulation, just kind of showing off, I am going to take the backpack off in a moment here, because that just makes it easier for me. So articulation wise, again, it's pretty typical of a real grade kit. It's pretty good for what it is, so I don't really have any issue with the articulation on this thing. There's the arm bend all the way up, which can go all the way around. There's your elbow bend. It rotates at the top. There. The hand is on a ball joint. A little bit loose here. And for the shoulder, swing out, or shoulder armor can just come off, I guess, too. It'll swing about that far forward here. And I believe this also, I think this flips up, doesn't it? At least I thought it does. Yeah, it does. It's just very stiff. Just stiff, and the shoulder armor wants to keep coming off here because it doesn't really stay on very well. Get back on there. Torso, side to side. Okay, well, I'll talk about that in a second here. Kind of been back here. Can't really bend forward all that much, but here's the problem. I just kind of, I don't know if you caught that here. If you try to rotate the torso, the thing is, of course the railguns are attached to the torso, so if you try to rotate the torso, they will rotate with the torso here. And you won't be able to rotate it very far because these will get caught on the beam rifles here. So, that is probably one flaw in the articulation here for this, for this kit. It's not a super big deal, but if you want the best articulation, you're going to want to have the railguns on the sides instead of the back. Sword armor flips up like so. Leg like so. Do this leg bend here for you. And then it all comes apart. It all comes apart on me. Hold on. This is what happens in the unscripted reviews. Most time a reviewer will just, edit that out, and you wouldn't see that. But no, you're gonna see that because that's the way this review is gonna go. You're gonna see it. If the kit breaks on me while I'm doing this, you're gonna see that. Anyway, there's the leg bend. Knee kind of moves up a little bit here, and this little part of the knee here, this dark part, you probably couldn't really see it too well. That actually moves just a little bit and bends back. And you can see that there. You got that little detail there, like that. And back of the leg, there's a thruster pin, opens up. You have to kind of get your finger in here to move this down. And you can have it like that. You can kind of push it in, then you can tuck this down. Front armor, if you ever built any of these kits before, it will move the front a little bit, provided the foot does not keep coming off here. So yeah, like that. Just go and slide back and forth here. On the foot here, doesn't come off again. Side to side, not too much on the side to side movement of this here. It's pretty basic here. Toe can bend down. So barely any toe joint on this kit here, despite being a joint inside of there. It doesn't really move that much. Move out the foot that much, and yep, out forward that much here. So Articulation of foot is pretty average, I'd say. It's not really anything to write home about, but then again, this kit is kind of meant to be up in the air, so it's not supposed to be doing a lot of acrobatics on the ground. So. Alright, let me talk about the side skirting on this thing here. That's one of the gimmicks on the Strike Freedom. So right now I have the beam rifles on here. They're just clipped on. You can just unclip them off. Real easy to do. So you have these little clips right here. Now what I like to do with this is like to just push these back out of the way, like that, on the back, and then I can swing the railguns forward, like that. As you can see, these are attached to the torso, not to the waist. So you got to remember that little fact here. The skirt armors are kind of folded already. They have like a double joint in here. I can demonstrate this for you here. And then you kind of just move this up, straighten it out, and have it like so. So again, it is a double joint on here. Kind of straighten it out and get it in here. I need to adjust this just a little bit here so it straightens out. Okay. Alright, so now we have the railguns on here. And we can go ahead and adjust the beam sabers to the angles they're supposed to be at. Actually, you know what? I can just take these off for a moment. One thing I have noticed with the beam sabers, they do tend to pull the entire thing off. They just pull the holder slot comes off with them because they have such a tight grip on here. It's off. Alright, railgun, Strike Freedom, pretty simple. Opens up like so. Extension. Boom, fire. Done. Freedom Gundam is more complicated than this, but the Strike Freedom is a pretty simplified version of that, so it's pretty easy to do. Actually, now I've got the shoulder come off here. Let me show you how the shoulder opens up here. Like I said, it's not the easiest thing to open this up. You have to kind of get your fingernail in here and just kind of gently pry it up. Kind of wish it was a little bit easier to do this. There we go, got it. And the red part will slide up and open like that here. Kind of hard to see inside of there, but that's what you get. Close that up, slide it back down. Alright, let me do the backpack here. This is the other big gimmick of the Strike Freedom Gundam, is the Dragoon wings on the back here. Just kind of show you the joint here. Like I said, this is about as far back as it'll bend. Won't really bend back any farther than that. Bend forward, and you can rotate around like so, right here. So. Now the wings, thankfully these are not connected together like on the Master Grade Strike Freedom. So you don't have to worry about this snapping or twisting. These can spread open, just like so. And the way this opens up, you have to kind of pull this forward just a little bit, and then it will slide down. This can move up. And then you have a piece here that opens up. Like that. And that is the full burst Strike Freedom. Just like that, and you have to do that for all these segments all over here. Now to take the Dragoon off, it's just kind of held on by a little clip. It comes right off. Nothing much to it. There you go. It just clips into like right here. You see this little ridge right there? That's where it attaches to. Just kind of get that back in there until it clicks in place. So it's like that. Then close it all back up again. Slide that in. Get it lined in right. There we go. So it's not super complicated, but you will kind of have to practice this a few times just to kind of get the right feel for it. It's kind of hard to describe in a video or pictures. You just kind of have to kind of play around with it until you get the right feel for it. Since you can't really see what's going on inside the dragons, you have to kind of feel for it. But that's the wings there. Let's show off the accessories we got here. Talk about the beam shield here first, since I got it handy here. Like I said, I don't like the stickers on this thing. It's just they're hard to put on straight. The bomb sticker I wasn't able to get on straight, and also you get the possibility of getting like air bubbles under this because it's such a big, broad sticker. I just wish Bandai could have done better with these things. Anyway, beam shield, it's just like with the Destiny Gundam. If you watch that, you have to kind of carefully pull out the red emitter piece. It's in here kind of tight. Get it out without ruining the sticker underneath. There you go. Well, it's kind of coming apart now. That's what happens. Let's see, this needs to go on top of here. Like that. And then it plugs into the hand. Like so. And there is your beam shield for the Strike Freedom Gundam. On there pretty good, it's not going to fall off. Take that off because it gets kind of in the way. Beam sabers are typical beam sabers, nothing really special about them except for the fact they will link together. That's the only real special thing about these. These little alligator teeth on the ends here just kind of snap together like so. Pretty long. Beam rifles. So we got these unique beam rifles to the Strike Freedom Gundam. Handles will just pop out on the bottom here. Like so. Like I said, they do fit into the hands pretty easily here. Here's the trigger holding hands I have right here. You actually don't even have to really take these apart entirely to get the beam rifle in them. Just kind of, if you want to be the quick and easy way, you can just kind of wedge them apart a little bit here. Stick them in, and stick it back together real quick, and it's in there, or it just comes apart. You know, I'm just like a total liar, so like, no, you don't have to take it all the way apart. No, it does come apart anyway. There we go. It's in there. So, it's a good grip. It's not going to fall out. Like I mentioned, there's really no notches on the handles, so it's just kind of held on by friction force, but it's not coming out. It's on there. And let me show you the joined together form of the beam rifle here while I have these out. Get the hand off again. Put this here so I don't lose these. I don't want to lose any parts here. Alright, so that goes on. This slides out. This extra sensor here. I don't remember if that's a clear part in there or not. I know these are not clear parts. These are just blue plastic under there, so you will have to use the foil stickers for these. This, I think, is a clear part inside of here, so it's kind of up to you whether you want to paint that or not. I just use a sticker because it's easier. This will slide forward here. This end of the beam rifle, actually this will slide forward too, but you're not really supposed to have that slide forward for this here. So just plug into the back. This part will stick out. And now you have the long rifle. Sorry. Long rifle, beam rifle of the Strike Freedom Gundam. It's a little awkward, but I mean, it works. Imagine if you can make a gun more powerful by sticking two of them together like this. Just be like, I mean, nobody would ever think of that. To stick a gun inside of a gun to make it a more powerful gun. Only in Gundam Seed do they do this. Does this make any sort of logical sense? But anyway. That's the beam rifles here. So, other than that, the hands. You get these two open hands. These are for emotive posing, I suppose you want to think of it that way. Like I said, they're easy to swap out. Let's do it like that. And of course, you got the real grade hands, which are kind of not very good. So you have that option if you want it. Let's see. Oh, the Kira figure. here it is. I think I used some panel liner paint on this here, so that's why it looks so dark. And last thing is the action base connector. That's going to go on the bottom of the kit. I'm going to plug in right here. Stick it in. And get your action base and plug it in. And now your Strike Freedom is on an action base. We'll be nice and happy. Put your Strike Freedom on an action base, it'll be nice and happy on there. And then it can stand without worrying about falling over. Let me get back off there for a moment. Anyway, that's about it for this review of the Real Grade Strike Freedom Gundam. I hope you found this review informative and maybe entertaining on some level. Is this a kit you should get? I mean, if you're interested in the Strike Freedom Gundam, sorry. If you're interested in the Strike Freedom Gundam, I think this is a perfectly fine kit to get and build. I think it looks pretty good. You put some effort into this, it's going to look pretty nice and look pretty sharp. I think it's got a lot of nice detail on it. I think it definitely looks better in the Master Grade. If you can't quite afford the perfect grade Strike Freedom Gundam, or you want something more detailed than the high grade, then you know this is your best bet here until there's like a 2.0 Strike Freedom Gundam for the Master Grade line. So anyway, like I said, it's a good looking kit, like most real grades. It's a little fiddly, but you know that kind of comes with the territory with older real grade kits here. But anyway, like I said, hope you enjoyed the review. Leave a like if you liked, or comment any questions below. I'll try to answer them as best I can. And subscribe. Subscribing is always appreciated. And hope you stick around, because always got more stuff coming. Anyway, see you next time. Bye-bye.